John Wesley Davidson, Peter Pan, Gideon Virgil Barnett, Charlie A. Anderson, David Jones, J.R. Jones, Alan Cooper, D.L. Lawrence, Lee O'Neill. We thank you for being here today. As the recipients and beneficiaries of the sacrifices and deeds of your ancestors, we are honored to be in your presence today. Thank you for being with us. You may be seated. Thank you.
By the time you have to follow that, you just throw the script out the window and just say, great job. And this is a great day for Fort Valley State University. Give them another round of applause. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Fort Valley State University. And thank you to the Fort Valley State University choir for that great selection. So now we know that greatness is upon us. We know that greatness is in the air. And it is my privilege and honor to present to you today our speaker for the morning. That is none other than Mr. Casey Bethel. Mr. Bethel is a product of school systems in the Bahamas and came here in 2000 to Fort Valley State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in biology. And for the students, I want you to focus one moment on he earned a bachelor's degree in biology. Because you'll see later that, as I said before, no matter where you want to go, Fort Valley State can help you get there. So he had a bachelor's degree in biology before going on to the University of Georgia, where he got a master's degree in plant genetics. And because of his academics and his accomplishments, he's one of UGA's top 40 alumni under 40, and he has the distinct pleasure as serving as a member of the Fort Valley State University Alumni Ring of Honor. See, Mr. Bethel was told at an early age, being a smart young man, that because he performed so well in science, that he had to be a doctor or a scientist. And he went throughout his life pursuing those careers until when he was in graduate school as a teaching assistant, he realized that he had found his passion. And so that passion led to fulfillment that he was never able to garner through his normal work. And on the other hand, he thoroughly enjoyed his training as a teaching assistant, and in 2005, he invested 1 year, just 1 year into teaching. But remember, I told you he started with the biology degree. He invested 1 year in teaching at the Cobb County Schools, and he loved it. And it was from that experience that Mr. Bethel found his calling and never looked back. In 2017, not only did Mr. Bethel graduate from Fort Valley State with a bachelor's degree, in 2017, Mr. Bethel was selected as the Georgia Teacher of the Year and the runner-up for National Life Changer of the Year. He was also awarded and nominated for the Presidential Award for Excellence in Math and Science Teaching. Mr. Bethel taught high school science for 14 years and is now the science coordinator of the Douglasville, Georgia School District, coordinating curriculum, resources, and teacher professional development for 16 schools. Prior to that role, he served as program director for campus and community coordination with Georgia Tech Center for Education, Integrating Sciences, Mathematics, and Computing, where he coordinated all professional development and STEM outreach programs. Additionally, Mr. Bethel blogs on topics related to science, technology, engineering, mathematics education, student engagement, teacher recruiting and retention, and most importantly, school discipline reform. It was in March 2018 that Mr. Bethel was invited to the White House and the U.S. Department of Education and led a national panel on education policy. As a scientist, he spent his first 5 years at the Center for applied genetic technologies, and now conducts biochemistry research at Georgia Tech, hoping to find cures for Alzheimer's disease and inherited glaucoma. He and his team's most recent findings were published in Nature Chemical Biology Journal. Mr. Bethel says that his secret to his success as a teacher is passion. When teachers are passionate about what they do, it translates to their students. Effective teachers are excited to share what they know in a way that draws students in, making them see the value of knowledge. This is what he teaches his students. He calls this simply and tells them that information is currency. Mr. Bethel's favorite pastime is spending time with his children. He has adorable 7-year-old twins, a young man, Jackson, and a young lady, Harper. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to introduce you to the man of the hour. A man who believes in manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. A man that knows that he must be first of all, a servant of all, and he must transcend all. That's none other than our Founders Day speaker, Mr. Casey Bethel.
President Jones, Senator Sims, the provost and other platform guests, faculty members, community supporters, alumni, students, and friends. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is a tremendous honor being here this morning and have this opportunity to address you all. Let's do something before I begin, though. I am overwhelmed, excited, and appreciative of all of the students I see in the audience. So if you're a student of Fort Valley State University, will you please stand? Let's give them a round of applause. Wow, we are so very proud of you to have you as a part of our family. You are our very best jewels. And then all the faculty members, will you please stand? Let's have the students give a round of applause to the faculty. Thank you for what you do every day pouring into the lives of these young people. And then one more time, can we give a nice round of applause to that amazing choir? How about that? Let's get those young folks in the recording booth so we can listen to that all the time. My name is Casey Bethel, and I am privileged to stand here this morning. It is a tremendous honor because I owe so much to Fort Valley State University. I get the opportunity now to travel around this nation and speak in almost every state and speak in other places. I was in San Antonio 2 weeks ago. A week from now, I'll be representing the governor's office in San Diego. I've spoken in Chicago, I've spoken in Nashville, spoken in Boston, spoken in, at this point, 41 of our 50 states. I'll be in Toronto next March. I've spoken at the University of the Bahamas. But on this campus, on this stage, in this room, is the one speech that means the most to me out of all of them. I owe so much to Fort Valley. In actuality, I probably had my most meaningful experience in this room. You see, when I came to Fort Valley from very far away. I'll tell you more about my personal story later. But I came to Fort Valley from very far away. When my mom brought me to campus for the very first time, I had never done a campus visit. I had never been in the state of Georgia. Where I'm from is a 3-hour flight. My mom dropped me off on campus on the first day of orientation. We walked over to Moore Hall, found my room. I was in room 125. She put the sheet on the bed and said, okay, this is where you're going to sleep. She took a little mental image of it and said a 5-second prayer. And we walked across campus to the Pinnacle building and had seats in this very same room. I was sitting right about where you're sitting, sir, in the salmon-colored shirt. And my mom sat in the row right behind me. And the first person who came to the podium, I believe it was Dr. Cynthia Sellers, who at the time was Vice President of Student Affairs. She addressed us as an incoming class. And then the second person who came to the podium, I believe, was Dr. Josephine Davis. And my mom leaned over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, bye-bye. My mom stuck around for exactly 6 hours. I leaned back as we were in orientation. I said, Mom, you leaving? She said, yeah, you'll figure it out. She left. You see, she entrusted me to the folks here at Fort Valley. And she knew it was important for my growth, for my maturity, that I did exactly what she said, which was figuring it out. And I'm proud to say that Fort Valley is the place that I became who I am today. Because I was from very far away, I didn't have the opportunity to go home on the weekends. So I would wander this very campus, walking from Founders Hall to the CTM building, or from CTM to the Bond building, all around campus, often by myself. Daydreaming and asking myself this question: what do I want my life to look like? Why am I here? What am I working towards? And I say unequivocally this morning, all thanks to God in Fort Valley, I am living out every one of those dreams I dreamt on this campus. I owe all of my life to Fort Valley. We're here this morning to honor the founders, those awesome individuals who more than 100 years ago thought it worth time and worth investment, worth sacrifice to make education available for all of us. And we thank them for that. We're here to honor their legacy. We're at the 79th Founders Day service, honoring more than 124 years of Fort Valley being in existence. And the question I want to ask us today is, where do we go from here? I'll tell you up front, young people, what I want you to remember, if you don't remember anything else. Carry the banner. Carry the banner. Let's have everybody say it. Say, carry the banner. Say it again. Say, carry the banner. I was going to make a joke, but I wasn't sure how it would go over. I'm glad I didn't do it. I was going to put on one of those red hats this morning, one of the ones that say, "Make America Great Again." You see, all around the world, people talking about whether or not we need to make America great again. And I'm not Republican or Democrat, and that's not my purpose. But I'm glad that we don't need to make Fort Valley great again. Fort Valley's always been great. Let's make sure that Fort Valley remains great. Let each of us commit ourselves to making certain students, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, graduate student, faculty members, whether you've been here decades or you're a new faculty member, let us all commit our lives and our work to making sure that Fort Valley remains great. I'll tell you a story. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. I've told this story 325 times, you all are 326. But I'll tell it this morning for a very different reason. It's the story of a fire station. Say fire station. See, I read this story in an online newsletter about 6 years ago, and I have not got this story out of my mind since I've read it. I've thought about it every single day. Wherever this was in this newspaper, it was printed that their local fire station had won an award. Say award. That fire station had won an award because it had outperformed every other fire station in its area, in its state. That fire station had a 99% success rate. Say 99. And wherever this was in the local newspaper, it said, the community heard that the fire station won this award, and they threw a huge parade for the fire station. The mayor read a proclamation. There was candy and streamers for the kids. The band played music. And everybody said, "Yay! We're so proud of our fire station." I remember reading it because I was thinking, man, I wish I was here. This sounds like a cool thing to be at. But when you read the story, and you can look it up when I'm done, it's not Georgia, but where it was, it said that they were having so much fun that the parade lasted longer than they planned. And as it started to get dark, and people started to walk to their cars, they recognized that there was one family walking away sad. I want you to imagine that for a moment. And the story says that the entire community ran up to that family and said, "What's wrong with you? How come you're walking away sad? We just had all this fun. Wipe that smug look off your face." And somebody else said, "You know what, you're probably being selfish. I bet you're out here thinking about you. We're trying to celebrate the fire station. Why are you so ugly?" And somebody else said, "You know what I realized? The whole time we were clapping, you weren't clapping. Yeah, the whole time we were cheering, you weren't cheering. What's wrong with you?" The dad of the family spoke up and he said, You have to forgive me. See, the one house that burned down was mine. I'm sorry I can't clap while you clap. I'm sorry I can't cheer while you cheer. Because 2 months afterwards, me and my family are still looking for somewhere to live. 2 months afterwards, my kids are still looking for clothes to wear. I came out here because I thought I'd be able to celebrate, but I can't. See, I tell that story because how you feel about the one house burning down depends upon where you sit in the story. If your house was one of the houses that was safe, if your house was one of the houses that was secure, that was never threatened, you think, you should be able to cheer. But when the one house that's threatened is yours, you realize that even one is one too many. I tell that in this room here today because outside of here, there are some who would say that the very same Fort Valley legacy we celebrate today is under threat. There's talks. I don't feel like they're real. I have no reason to believe that they are, but there's some who would say, what is the purpose of a place like Fort Valley nowadays? Why do HBCUs need to exist? Should we keep them open? Should we close them? Should we all these different ideas? And just like that fire station story, how you feel about that depends upon where you find yourself in the story. To those people I say today, and to everybody in this room I say today, the best way to honor the legacy of Fort Valley, the best way to honor those founders who gave their blood, sweat, and tears, is to keep Fort Valley's doors open. Keep the gates of Fort Valley open. You see, there's a few reasons why we have to. Fort Valley was built on the personal sacrifice, on the backs, on the blood, the sweat, the tears of those families, of those people. We have their family members here today, and they deserve a round of applause. When we read the name like President Hunt, we have to remember that it wasn't just him. He signed his wife and his kids and his entire family up to making that sacrifice hundreds of years ago so that I would have a classroom to sit in, so that you would have a classroom to sit in. And that's not something we ought to take lightly. We ought to commit ourselves to making sure that their sacrifice on our behalf is always maintained. So keep Fort Valley's doors open in order to honor legacy. Keep Fort Valley's doors open in order to remember their history. See, it's not a coincidence Fort Valley happened when it did. Post-slavery, right after Reconstruction, there were many who said blacks don't deserve an education. Or they said, you know what, you guys can have education now, but who's going to teach you? And that Fort Valley was birthed out of that necessity. There's no coincidence that it was a teacher training college to train the teachers who would teach those newly freed slaves. That amazing history is something we ought to be very proud of. But keep in mind that there are some who would like to rob us of that opportunity even now. Let's keep Fort Valley's doors open to remember that history. And then keep Fort Valley's doors open to acknowledge its service to society. See, there are a couple of groups. People come to Fort Valley from all over the place and for very, very many different reasons. But there are three groups that are always present. There are the groups who come to Fort Valley out of family legacy. You're in Fort Valley because your grandfather went, or your mom went, or your aunt went, or your uncle went. And we appreciate you for that. But we can be honest and here amongst family in this safe space and say, there are many in Fort Valley because they were denied access in other places. The mission of Fort Valley has always been to make education accessible to those who had no other option. And we cannot let that window close. We cannot let that door close. Whether it's academics and your grades weren't quite good enough to get in elsewhere, or it was finances and your family couldn't quite afford to send you elsewhere, Fort Valley is here for you, just like it was here for me. And we need to make certain that it is here for the next generation. My story is, thank you. See, my story at the end sounds different. You'll hear that I'm a University of Georgia top 40 alumni, and I have a master's degree in genetics, and I work at Georgia Tech, and I do Alzheimer's research, and I've spoken at the White House, and the U.S. Department of Education, and in this place and that place, but I began as the son of a single-parent mother in a very poor neighborhood in the Bahamas. I was a first-generation college student. I did remarkably well in high school. I had very good grades. I made a 1250 on the SAT on my first try. But I had no idea how to get into school, where to go, and how to pay for it, and my mom had no money. Luckily for me, I had an uncle who was a graduate of Fort Valley in 1962, who had a New Year's Eve dinner one day. I don't know why he had an application in the trunk of his car, but he had a Fort Valley application in the trunk of his car. Brought it to the dinner table and said, sign here, you're going to go to Fort Valley. And that's how I ended up here. Fort Valley was my only option. But the beauty of Fort Valley is that it does not matter how you get here. It only matters how you leave here. What you go on to do next, what you go on to accomplish, depends only on what you do while you're here. And so we must keep Fort Valley's doors open. So the question then becomes, how? How do we keep Fort Valley's doors open? I wish there was an easy way for me to do this, but I would have brought 2,226 little mirrors and passed them out to every one of the students in this room. And this would be the point in the speech where I would ask you to pull out that mirror and look into it and tell me what you see. Because what will keep Fort Valley's doors open is you. We are relying on you. You see, nobody chops down a tree that's still making good fruit. Nobody closes a shop that's still making good product. You have to step up and take your place, your righteous place, and be the good fruit, be the good product of Fort Valley so that everybody will recognize the great service that Fort Valley still performs. And unquestionably, they will never even consider threatening that service. The young people in here, I'm here to speak to you. I'm here to speak to the students. I need you to do a few things. The first one is celebrate what is special about Fort Valley. Celebrate what is special about Fort Valley. Fort Valley, the jewel, is a rare gem in the middle of our state. Yeah, it's small, but part of what's being small is what makes it great. I'm a part of the University of Georgia's alumni, top 40 alumni. I'm on their website too, and I can tell you that they don't know you when you go there. You don't have access to your professors and the faculty and the help you need when you go there. There was a picture I saw on Facebook recently that made me so proud I shed tears. It was of President Paul Jones on the day students were moving in with prayer gloves on, lifting somebody's microwave into the dorm. The president of the University of Georgia, when I was there, was named Mike Adams. The current president of the University of Georgia is named Jerry Moorhead. I know them both personally, and neither one of them is going to lift your microwave. What's special about Fort Valley is that it's small. What's special about Fort Valley is that it's close. Very close-knitted. The people at Fort Valley are behind you for your entire life. And behind you about a lot more than just grades. You see, Fort Valley taught me everything I needed to know in math and in science and in writing. But the person I am today as a person, the person I am as a father, as a husband, as an individual, I owe to Fort Valley. Because people like Clinton Dixon, people like Dean Thomas Palmer, people like Isaac Crumley, people like Sarwan Dia gave me individuals to look at and pattern my life after. I used to think, I wish I could just walk like Dean Palmer. I wish I could just speak like Ike Crumley. And you still have that. faculty members here provide that for you. Celebrate what is special about Fort Valley. And then Fort Valley has a track record of investing in its students. Check this out. I went to the White House in 2017 with the other 50 state teachers of the year. There was one from every state. When we walked into the room, when we walked into the actual house, it wasn't a tour, we had carte blanche access, right? The other teachers from the other states were, wow, oh my God, look at the curtains and look at the carpet, oh my, look at these pictures. And they were surprised that I wasn't wow. What I told them was, I've been here before. In 1998, as the Vice President of the Student Government Association, Fort Valley sent me to represent our university to a symposium at the White House. Fort Valley sent me and a few other students to a mock United Nations in Spain. The reason why I can shake hands with diplomats and talk to people who are professionals is because I knew how to rub shoulders with President Oscar Prater and Dr. Cynthia Sellers. They taught us how people are people and you can be proud of yourself and speak confidently. Fort Valley invests in its students about so much more than just grades. Celebrate what is special about Fort Valley. I'm almost done. Secondly, only two more things. Carry the banner. What does it mean to carry the banner? To carry the banner means a few things. Every one of you, it is your turn now to be great. Fort Valley has a long list of alumni doing amazing things out there in the world in each one of the areas. I'm not the only one. I'm a blip on that screen. You know, in every era, just in my era, let me tell you a few of them. These are the folks I sat in classes with. Dr. Crystal Connor is the CEO of a $30 million construction company. She was a chemistry major here at Fort Valley State. Jerome Murphy is the chief geoscience staffing officer, and he's over development for ExxonMobil. He was a CDEP scholar here at Fort Valley State. Shaquilla Henderson Baker is the chair of the school board in Newton County. She's a past Miss Fort Valley State. We knew him as Todd, but you can Google him as Stereo Williams. He's one of the lead writers for Upbeat Magazine, for Billboard Magazine, and for XXL Magazine. He was an English major right here at Fort Valley. Shamika Hallman Cooper sat right next to me in biology class. She is the lead pediatric neuroscientist at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and the lead of the pediatrics department at Emory University. Right before me, we had a Super Bowl winner, and right after me, we had another Super Bowl winner. Ty Poole was before me, and Ricardo Lockett was after me. But during my era, we had Nick Harper. Nick Harper was the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. He won with Peyton Manning. We had Super Bowl winners all over the place. Craig Lockhart is the superintendent of Dooley County Schools. Bernard Hodges, right up the street, is a phenomenal veterinarian who is set to have his own reality TV show this January. These are folks who have graduated recently, who are carrying the banner in their careers. It is your turn now to carry the banner. What it means to carry the banner means to also dream big. Say dream big. And work hard. Say work hard. What will you do? What will you do? What will your mark be? What will your legacy be? That Fort Valley will celebrate, that they will post your picture in one of its hallowed halls, that you will give a Founders Day address one day. See, it begins now. How big you dream and how hard you work. Do me this favor. There's something in it for you. Let me see how high you can reach. Everybody in this room. All right? I think you can reach a little higher. Young man in the blue jacket, one of the ambassadors, he got it a lot earlier. I got something for you when we're done. You know what typically happens? I've done that in rooms all around the country. I said, reach high. And people do this. And I said, I think you can reach a little higher, and they do this. And I said, I think you can reach a little higher, and they do this. And I said, I think you can reach a little higher, and they do this. And it takes a while for you to realize, I know I can stand up. And if I had said it one more time, you would have done what? Stood on a chair. But I don't want you to stand on a chair here. The point is this. No matter how much you're doing, you can do a little more. But most of us are comfortable with whatever the world will accept. If I were to let you stop right here, you would stop right here. If I were to let you stop right here, you would stop right there. If I were to let you stop right there, you would stop right there. But the more I kept asking, and the more I kept pulling, you kept realizing, you know what, I can do more. But don't let somebody else tell you to do more. Let that come from inside. Whatever I'm doing, there's more I can do. When you study 15 minutes, there's someone studying 20 minutes. When you answer 10 practice problems, there's somebody answering 15 practice problems. Whatever you're doing, you can do more. Keep Fort Valley's doors open through diligence and hard work. My favorite quote is one that says, diligence is the path of the mountain of knowledge. Hard work is the boat across the endless sea of learning. Diligence is the path of the mountain of knowledge. See, I teach high school, so you guys aren't that far away from being in my class. And kids come to my class all the time and they say, Mr. Bethel, I'm not good at science. Mr. Bethel, I've never been good at science. Mr. Bethel, I'm better at writing than I am in science. Mr. Bethel, I'm better at Spanish than I am in math. See, they have this misconception that learning is a talent some people are born with and some people aren't. When the truth is that you become smart through your hard work. You can be great at every subject the moment you decide to work hard enough. The moment you decide to study hard enough. And my final point is, to carry the banner means to speak highly of Fort Valley. Always, everywhere, all the time. In the words of our anthem, it says, Fort Valley State, our lives to thee we dedicate, our souls we blend to sing thy name. Eternal praise we do proclaim. Eternal praise is what we owe this institution. That praise that says, I'm never going to speak negative of this place, I'm going to speak positive of this place all the time because it deserves it. I will praise Fort Valley in every room I'm in every conversation I enter. Eternal praise we do proclaim, speak highly of Fort Valley and defend her. She was here for you when you needed her. Be there for her when she needs you. Always, everywhere, all the time. That's how we honor the legacy that's before us today. Carry the banner, devote your life, give back, work hard while you're here. And because you're young people, I don't want to leave you like that. I don't want to beat you down. I gave you a lot of things to do, and I requested a lot of you that you try hard, that you work hard. I will close with the words of my favorite poem that will encourage your heart, will encourage your mind if you listen to it. It was written a few hundred years ago. I learned it here at Fort Valley. We used to have an orientation class. They still have that? One of the first classes. They still have it? Say yes. Yes. Okay, cool. I learned this poem in my orientation class. And I still think about it all the time. It says, it's called equipment, if you want to look it up, but it's called equipment. Say equipment. This is to the students. It says, figure it out for yourselves, my lad. You have all that the greatest of men have had. 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain to use if you be wise. With this equipment they all began. So start from the top and say, I can. Say, I can. Look them over, the wise and the great, they take their food from a common plate, and similar knives and forks they use, with similar laces they tie their shoes. The world considers them brave and smart, but you have everything they had when they made their start. When we think of the people that we admire, the folks who are awesome, people like Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey and LeBron James, and whoever it is you look up to, Denzel Washington. They started the same way you started. 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain. You have everything they have, which means you are totally capable to dream big and reach those dreams. We can try to become skilled. You can be great if only you will. You are equipped for what fight you choose. You have legs and arms and a brain to use. And a man who has risen great deeds to do began his life with no more than you. The beauty of life is that nobody starts with an advantage. We all started at the beginning mark at square one. You are the handicap you must face. You are the one who must choose your place. You must say where you want to go, how much you will study the truth to know, but God has equipped you for life, and He lets you decide where you want to be. Courage must come from the soul within. The man must furnish the will to win. So figure it out for yourselves, my lad. You were born with all the great men have had. With your equipment, they all began. Get hold of yourself and say, I can. You can do it. Everything that Fort Valley is asking of you. Let's protect the legacy. Let's make sure that Fort Valley continues to be great. When we read our litany of Thanksgiving, it ended with these words: there's a light in the valley. Hold it high, hold it high. Help me keep the light burning bright, kindly leading others through the night to the light. Fort Valley has been that light for me. It is that light for you. Let us make sure it continues to be that light for everyone who needs it. God bless Fort Valley.
Mr. Bethel, before you get started, please join me here at the podium. Thank you for accepting my invitation to deliver this year's Founders Day address, and what an address it was. You have reminded us of our individual and institutional obligations to do our part to make the Fort Valley State University the greatest it can be. May each of us embrace the importance of educating and nurturing the whole person, and of sacrificing for someone other than ourselves. We are wiser about our heritage and purpose because of your message to each of us. As we pay tribute to the visionary founders whose diligence and commitment gave birth to this institution, your alma mater, I'm honored to present you with this token of our appreciation. The inscription reads, Fort Valley State University Presidential Torchbearers Award, presented to Casey Bethel, class of 2000, this day, November 7th, 2019. Thank you so much. As I reflect on our historic past, I am reminded of the tremendous privilege and honor that I have as president to stand on the shoulders of our founders. Those 18 men lit the fire of education, which ignited into an explosion of hopes and dreams. And today is the eternal flame that is Fort Valley State University. So today is not just a day to celebrate the extraordinary courageousness and vision of our founding fathers. It is also a day to reflect on the DNA they passed on to all Wildcats and what that empowers us to do. As Wildcats, the makeup of our DNA are molecules of excellence, innovation, and resilience. Our DNA instructs us to be leaders, to be change agents, to be civic servants, and to uplift our fellow man and woman through the knowledge we have gained here at Fort Valley State University. Our DNA commands us to learn and then teach, to research and then to discover, to dream and then achieve, to dare and then simply to do. And embedded in our DNA is a spark of light, which instructs each and every wildcat to glow with greatness, radiate confidence, and shine through creativity and invention. In his jail cell on Robbins Island, Nelson Mandela stayed strong by focusing on Marianne Williams' quote, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate," she wrote. "Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We all are meant to shine. And when we let our light shine, we give others permission to do the same. So you see, Fort Valley State University is not just one big light in the valley. That light is made up of thousands of individual beings, each shining brightly through their brilliance. So I challenge you to add your shine to the light. That light is our legacy. And when we shine, humanity will be able to see that light. Our 18 founders gave us that very spark. Now it is up to each of us to stoke the fire so that it burns bright enough to light not only the valley, but it lights the world. And I hope that each of you paid close attention to the tremendous message of our speaker, Casey Bell. I am so proud as I sat here in that seat, listening to him and thinking about, as I looked out at the faculty in this room, the way in which they have transformed his life. And then to think about all of the lives here that are being transformed right before our eyes. That in itself is a reason to keep this light shining brightly right here in the valley. I'm not worried about everyone else. I'm not worried about those messages that we are hearing out there, because that is simply noise. Because I know I'm counting on all of you, each and every one of you, to raise that banner he talked about. Because if you raise that banner, there is no one that will come close to making us go anywhere but up. God bless you all, and I thank you for being here today. This is our home.
Thank you so much, President Jones, and thank you again, Mr. Bethel, for your wonderful comments and remarks, because as President Jones stated, this is our home. We have nowhere to go but up, and we're going to get there because we're going to continue to work with each other, support each other, uplift each other, because we are going to be committed to lifting as we climb. And so as we begin to close, I want you to also join me in thanking and acknowledging all of our program participants. And today, we also want to pause and acknowledge once again our descendants of our founders. And the founders of this great institution saw fit to go through and lay this foundation for us. And we're so thankful for what they did. And as we talk about this foundation, Our students today stand on that foundation, and they learn from our world-renowned faculty who work diligently to help propel students from where they are and help them go to places that they never dreamed of going. And as we create new alumni who join with old alumni to support our beloved Fort Valley State University, we thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasure. Students, we thank all of you, faculty emeriti, staff, alumni, board members, and elected officials. We thank all of you for everything that you do to preserve, to honor, and perpetuate the vision and legacy of our founders. And so on behalf of the Office of the President and the Office of Academic Affairs, as well as the 2019 Founders Day Committee, I want to thank each of you. I want to thank you for sharing in today's convocation, but most importantly, I want to thank you for just being you. Give yourselves a round of applause. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we've concluded this part of Founders Day, and we will now move to the Hunt's grave site located at the Hunt Bond Troop Memorial. This is a special occasion, and the speaker has already acknowledged how many students, faculty, and staff we have here. It's important for all of us to finalize this tribute by making that pilgrimage to the grave site. So I look forward to seeing each of you there for the commemorative tribute of placing a wreath at the Hunt's grave, the singing of the alma mater, and benediction. And so, ladies and gentlemen, at this time I ask that you please stand for the recessional of the stage participants, the faculty, and honored guests. Thank you.